want to say at the beginning of this video how thankful I am for your kind words and your prayers over the last couple of days while I was in the hospital over there in Mansfield. It was scary for a little while, but fortunately it turned out to not be anywhere near what the original prognosis was. And I just kind of need to take care of myself. Fortunately, the weather is going to be relatively calm, and I have a great support system with my family and friends at home. I'll be just fine. And those health changes I was talking about, well, it's really time to put those into place now. And I'll probably put on my personal page a little bit more about kind of what I went through, what I've learned as well. For this page, though, and for this moment, we got to talk about the weather. There's a few things going on today in this week. First of all, this perfect picture from Angela Ramsey out of Maypearl this morning. A nice sun ray going right through that hole in the clouds. And you see some darker clouds here. We've had some moisture in the area. This is the first part of the story we need to talk about for today's forecast. This radar may be old by the time you're watching this, but this tells the story. It's a good picture of things. Off to the west, we have some lighter showers, maybe some moderate rain here from near Hamilton to Glen Rose on up into Fort Worth. And we're going to see kind of off and on showers throughout the morning as this system is pushing through. We got a Pacific front that won't do a whole lot for cooler temperatures, but hey, we'll take all we can get, right? So this will bring the light to moderate showers in. And then off to the east, you can see the heavier activity off to the east that's going to manifest into possibly some strong to severe storms there later today. As we get into that daytime heating, areas east of us, and let me go ahead and pull up this map here. East of us, okay, is where we're looking at that best chance for severe weather. The green there, marginal. The yellow is the slight risk. For our area specifically, though, it's just a general thunder. That's what this is called, this light green here. General thunder, could be some claps of thunder here and there. We had a heavier shower in Ennis. I don't know if there was any kind of lightning or thunder with that, but could see some claps of thunder before everything is said and done in our area. Daytime highs today, we're pretty warm for January. We're kind of staying there, 72, 73 degrees across the area. A little bit warmer as you get west because we will be pulling in that drier air, so that will allow better warming. And then, again, overnight tonight, it's a little bit chilly, not cold, but a little bit chilly. And again, as you get east, it's just a little more humid, so it may not cool down quite as much, but 43, 44 degrees across the area. So let's talk about what we're seeing region-wide here. So pretty much the same as what we just talked about. We have the light to moderate stuff here, some heavier rain, more steady rain up from Oklahoma City up to Tulsa. But off to the east, this is where they're watching for more severe weather, especially as you get from Shreveport, Texarkana, up to Little Rock over into Louisiana here. That area could be rocking and rolling later today, but our area, we have these light to moderate showers that may come in the front behind that. And then off to the west, we put the water vapor on here. You have this dry slot, and this is normal. You have this dry air moving in, and that will bring in a new concern. It's going to be breezy today, and though we have rain coming in, it's not a whole lot. It's pretty dry out there. We haven't had that much rain recently, so you put breezy winds with dry conditions and relatively dry ground, and you have that elevated fire danger. So we have an elevated risk for our area, especially western parts of Ellis County from 35 west. Pretty much all of Ellis County should really take this under advisement at this point. And then you have a critical risk off further to the west. I believe there's a red flag warning out there today as well. But regardless of where you are in this spectrum, be careful with any kind of open flame or welding or power tools or anything. Sparks, use your common sense. I mean, we haven't talked about this since summer, but I have talked in previous forecasts about how winter can sometimes be a relatively dry time of year. So just keep that in mind because we haven't had that much rain recently, and the breezy winds today could cause some issues. I've already heard the last few days about some grass fires here and there. Just know that today there's actual graphics being put together to warn you of that. And the drought itself, you're probably wondering, well, what does everything look like? The drought conditions are not terrible in our area. Not that great in Hill County here, but this yellow is the lowest you can get, and then really no drought conditions from parts of Johnson County over most of Ellis County here. Of course, as you go down to the southwest, it's much more extensive, but for our area, it's not terrible. But it's not looking like it's going to get that much better in the near future. We have a couple of chances of rain in the forecast, but we will be watching this over the next few weeks because as we get through the rest of winter, get into spring, spring is a time for thunderstorms, but that doesn't always mean good drenching rain. It doesn't mean consistent rain, the kind of rain you need to fill the lakes and those kind of things. Some of the lakes in Johnson and Hill counties are just not looking good. So time will tell what this will look like. And after spring, you get into summer, it's really dry. You could have a whole full-blown drought condition like we did before. So we'll be watching this. Time will tell. But depending on how much rain we get this season, this could be setting up for another rough summer across North Texas. So let's take a look at the big picture of what we're kind of seeing going forward here. Of course, we've got this whole system in our area right now. And again, this westerly flow going to bring in that dry air to our area. And you can see this low is back over here. Probably get some snow up in the upper elevations here. High pressure to the west, so it will be quiet for a little while as that does move through our area. And then off to the west again, our next system. There it is. We've just been watching that pattern, right? They've just been coming in one after another, and actually 3 systems in the forecast, including today's. So there's quite a bit to go over. So let's just get to this forecast here. As you can see, today is the warmest day in the forecast. There's 30% chance of rain this morning. Southwest winds at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Remember, southwest winds are dry, so we will get the drier air later today, more sun. And we do have that elevated fire risk in place. That Pacific front moves through. Later tomorrow, though, tonight, I'll say that first, low 40s for our low, so chilly tonight, but not cold. Tomorrow is quite a bit cooler, though. We will have the drier air and some of that cooler air filtering in overnight. Tomorrow, we are cooler, northwest winds at 5 to 15 miles per hour on the backside of that low, and highs in the upper 50s. We may not even crack 60 tomorrow. Overnight lows in the upper 30s, so again, not terribly cold, but getting chillier. Friday looks decent, 60 degrees for that high, 40 degrees for your low. Saturday, that next system moves in, and we're watching to see what this rain chance looks like. It looks like about 40%. That could go up a little bit, but cooler that day, mid-50s with southeast winds. 38 for the overnight low. Then you get into next week, and Sunday looks decent. Northwest winds of 5 to 10 miles per hour with mid to upper 50s for highs. Overnight, though, we're looking at mid-30s. And again, anytime we get into the mid-30s, those low-lying areas can get closer to the low 30s. So just keep that in mind if you have the sensitive plants and want to bring the pets in and that kind of thing. Sunday night might be your night to do that. And then yet another system moves in Monday and Tuesday. Monday looks pretty normal for the most part. It's overnight Monday when we start getting rain. Monday itself, we're 58 degrees for that high. Looks like winds could be changing a little bit as that system gets closer. So wind direction, speed, that we'll have a better idea on that going forward. Overnight Monday night, we stay in the mid to upper 30s. And then Tuesday, better chance for rain. Northwest winds of 5 to 10 miles per hour there. We'll get, again, a better idea of the winds as we get closer there. But notice the temperature. We're gearing towards the mid to low 50s. So cooling down a little bit, and then trends going further than that. Looks like we have more cooler temperatures. Cold, I would say, I said colder, and I was trending towards colder. I try to use that sparingly, but does look like we could have some pretty cold conditions. So like I said last week, don't discount winter. Don't assume that winter is over just because we have some 70s and 80s and the forecast is all over the place. Hey, winter is not done with North Texas. We haven't even gotten into February yet, and that's normally when everything happens for us. So just keep in mind that we still have some cold weather to look at, and we'll have a better idea next week going into mid to late week as we go into this week. And what am I trying to say? I'm out of practice here, folks. As we get into next this weekend, we'll have a better idea kind of what next week is going to look like. For now, though, focus on that elevated fire danger later today. Just use caution out there, and then we get cooler going into the rest of the week, and it looks like we're trending colder going forward after that.